Hello everyone and welcome back to another week of the Prismatic Draft League. I am recording this at night because if all things go to plan, I am playing this match tomorrow morning. This week we are up against Ava, coach of the Regional Reshirams. And they've got a very scary Trick Room team. And though, unlike Robbie, which is able to mix in the Sun mode, this is a almost purely Trick Room team. Though it's using some very interesting mons to do it. Starting off the bat, we have Jolteon, Braviary, Masquerain, Gallade, Chandelure, Zora Hisui, Primarina, Porygon 2, Fortress, Toxapex, and Amoonguss. So, when I look at this team, I see a few things. You got 3 Trick Room setters. You have Gallade, you have Chandelure, and you have Porygon 2. Then you have some defensive Pokemon in Fortress, Amoonguss, and Toxapex. You have an Intimidate Pokemon in Masquerain, and Braviary is able to set up Tailwind. So if we see Braviary in the match preview, it is more likely that Ava is going for a Tailwind approach this week rather than a Trick Room approach. What else do we see here? Primarina, a bulky water type, very solid threat. Something I considered picking up myself before I went with Gyarados, alongside Milotic, but in the end we went with Gyarados. And whatever some things, Porygon 2 is almost impossible to kill, so we have to respect the hell out of that thing because it is going to sit on the turn for a few bit. Zora Hisui is a bit of a meme, but it can trip me up if I'm not careful. And Jolteon is the fastest thing on the field this game. It is outspeeding Kilowattrel just barely, so we do not have the speed advantage here. Although, on average, my team is faster than his, as the only Pokemon to break base 80 is the Jolteon. Everything else is base 80 or slower. So my team is on par to be the faster Pokemon on the field, and because of that, we have to be extremely careful for the Trick Room setup. If we got over to his team page, I don't know if I've calced the stats for his week 6 match. But Gallade is by foremost his kill leader, with Braviary actually in second. As in the 3 games that Braviary has came to a match and into a game, it played a pivotal role in being able to set up a fast mode for this team, which is typically expected to go slow. Other things is Porygon is able to pick up a KO every now and there. Chandelure is, of course, something that can do KOs as well. And, of course, Primarina. Looking over at the team breakdown, we have a very, very decent spread on the types. The main thing I see at the moment, though, is Electric is a very big one to hit. We have 2 Electric types that can make good use of this, though we're only bringing one of them. Unfortunately, Magneton is being skipped over for another week due to it having the fighting weakness. Right? Porygon is weak to fighting, right? I'm not making that... Yeah, Magneton is weak to fighting. I'm not making that up. Yeah, Electric doesn't resist fighting. Why would I think that? But while Masquerain isn't something I expect to show up, so really there's only 3 potential Electric weaknesses that we could take advantage of. But that is something that we can take advantage of. Kilowattrel looks like it's going to be very helpful in this game, especially because it's faster than everything on his team except for the Jolteon. Which, Jolteon could be running Volt Absorb. So that's something we have to consider. If we expect a Jolteon in the back, we have to be careful of a Jolteon switch in to eat up a Thunderbolt, probably for the Primarina or the Braviary. Flying is also a big weakness of his. Only one resist in the Jolteon. Now he does have ground is also another one he's big into. Some of the flying weakness checks such as Jolteon, Chandelure, and Toxapex. Though Toxapex is able to hit ground back super effective. Though it has 2 immunities in Masquerain and Braviary. Lastly, another one I want to touch on is the rock weakness. You only have 2 Pokemon that are effectively weak to it, with Masquerain taking 4 times damage to it, but again, I don't expect Masquerain to show up. You also have a 3 Pokemon weak to fire, Free Pokemon weak to Ice, but Chandelure isn't coming to this match just because I want to try and keep my fighting weaknesses down to a minimum this week. Although I don't really solve that, in my opinion. I think the biggest weakness that my team has had is the 5 fighting weaknesses that I have to work around with. But with that in mind, let's take a look at this. Oh, I am grabbing the wrong thing to move. Let's take a look at this read breakdown. As I said, the only thing to break base 80 is Jolteon. So, the only speed that we're really concerned with in beating, at least with Kilowattrel, is 183. Jolteon could be max speed. It could even be quick feet for some reason. So we went with we're going to go with 183 as the speed to beat for Kilowattrel. And 124 for the others. I say 124 because as this is a very Trick Room dependent team, I don't believe he's going to be bringing max speed on a lot of his Pokemon. Though, I believe with Crocodile, we are... not Crocodile, I think Arcanine's actually speed creeping Gallade because it has to. That actually is a spoiler that we're bringing Arcanine. But what are the Pokemon that look interesting here? Gyarados, while doesn't really hit anything for super effective damage, aside from the Chandelure, looks very good this set. It's bulky water that is able to just ignore what Ava wants to do, right? Its biggest threat is Jolteon, of course, but it's got Intimidate. Though running Moxie this week for a reason I'll discuss later. Waterfall is decent damage into most of his team, as he only has 3 resistances to it in the Primarina, the Amoonguss, and the Toxapex. Though for the Amoonguss, we actually have something we'll be taking to take it on. Kilowattrel, as I mentioned before, looks very good here. Hits everything on this team for neutral damage. At the very least, right? Because Primarina, Masquerain, Braviary, and Toxapex are all weak to electric. The only resistance to electric is Amoonguss, who we can hit with Air Cutter, which we will bring this week. Or is it Air Slash? I think it's Air Slash we're bringing. We'll find out later. But yeah, Cryogonal I don't think looked too great this week. Sceptile didn't look too great. Tauros I didn't want to bring because that's a fighting weakness. Litten is just a meme. And Magneton, as I mentioned, fighting weakness. Let's take a look at the team breakdown. Where is it? Oh, reconnect to the servers. Did my internet cut out? Nope. That was weird. Oh, spoilers! First off, we have the Gardevoir with a Choice Scarf. Now, if you might recall, back in Season 3, in the semifinals, I caught Ava off guard with a Choice Scarf Florges into his Gallade. Shockingly enough, Ava really likes Gallade. But because Ava really likes Gallade, I know how he likes to use Gallade, because we've fought several times now across the season. Since Season 2, we've had great sets with Ava, so I kind of know what to expect. It's going to be Sharpness, I'm going to expect Leaf Blade, Sacred Sword, Psycho Cut, and maybe Protect. It's either going to be Clear Amulet or Life Orb. No ins, ands, or buts. So we're going at Choice Scarf Gardevoir is our answer to it. Similar to how we had Florges be our answer last time. The idea behind Gardevoir, right? We lead Gardevoir. We have Terra Grass in case of a Amoonguss lead alongside the Gallade, because we need to stop Trick Room, right? So I'm thinking his leads are either going to be Gallade Amoonguss, Gallade Chandelure, Gallade Primarina, or Chandelure Primarina. He's always going to have a Trick Room Pokemon up. And I believe Gardevoir is our best answer to those Trick Room Pokemon. Because aside from Porygon 2, his other 2 Trick Room Pokemon are offensive based. You have the Chandelure and the Gallade. Now, Chandelure we can't hit for that well. I mean, could we? Now, the only water move we get is We get Shadow Ball. Do I really need Dazzling Gleam here? I don't think I do, so we'll put Shadow Ball. But so, with Trick, right, we're able to potentially cut off one of his threats and stop it from being able to do its support moves. In theory, anyway. I'm most likely just going to be clicking attacks with Gardevoir this week. So we'll see. Next up we have Crocodile with not a Choice Band set. This is the return of Crocodile after he didn't show up last week because he didn't look too good. And if I'm honest, he still doesn't look too good this week. But Crocodile serves a very interesting purpose with the Assault Vest set. It is a late game cleaner. We are going with very heavy special defense bulk so that we can live Primarina. Well, I don't think without the Terra Electric we live Primarina that well. Especially if it's max special attack. Maybe it's even Mystic Water or Life Orb, in which Crocodile is kind of boned. But the idea with this Crocodile set is we leave it for late game. Because the only two physical attackers on Ava's team that are worth looking at are Braviary and Gallade. Two Pokemon that are pretty likely to be out early. So, in that instance, we bring Crocodile out late to clean up the remaining special attackers after the Braviary and the Gallade are gone. That's it in theory. I don't want to be in a situation where I have to lead Crocodile. Next up we have Kilowattrel. Just standard Kilowattrel. I said Masquerade's a meme, but you never know if they'll play into the meme. I have Intimidate Pokemon. Maybe he'll bring his Intimidate Pokemon. So we're bringing competitive on Kilowattrel, even though Voltobzor would realistically be a better option. For two main reasons. Like I said, the Masquerade. And if he doesn't go for Trick Room or even Tailwind, does Jolteon get Electro Web? Not sure. I might be throwing here with the competitive, but I really think that this is a case of if he brings the meme, then Kilowattrel gets +2 special attack. Terra Flying, the main reason for that is if I'm in a situation where Kilowattrel has to 1v1 Amoonguss, maybe give Air Slash a little more damage. And I didn't want to do Terra Electric because I don't think Thunderbolt needs to be doing much more damage. We're doing Thunderbolt, Air Slash, Volt Switch, Protect, because Volt Switch allows us to still have momentum with Kilowattrel. So we'll probably just let it die while going for Thunderbolt, like we always do. I swear I never click pivoting moves. As I mentioned, we are going 183 speed on Kilowattrel to speed creep max speed Jolteon. And the rest is in max special attack and HP. I've said it before, and I will say it again. Even if Kilowattrel is a frail Pokemon, and I'm running Focus Sash on it, if it hits the speed that it needs to hit, I'll just put the rest in HP, because you never know, right? Going above that speed with Kilowattrel is pretty wasted. So, might as well, right? The only thing that could bite me is if he brings, like, if Florges was a max, was a base 70 Pokemon. So if he brings one of his base 70 Pokemon with a Choice Scarf, Kilowattrel doesn't outspeed it. You have to be timid Kilowattrel to outspeed a base 70 Scarfer, I believe, is what I found out when I was doing my Florges play back in Season 3. So hey, maybe he brings a Choice Scarf Pokemon against me. There's always that opportunity. But next up we have Arcanine with Choice Band, Chara Grass, Intimidate, Flare Blitz, Wild Charge, Extreme Speed, Rock Slide. We are speed creeping the Gallade. Arcanine's one of the Pokemon I'm considering leading into what's the word? Into Ava. Because, well, let's face it, Arcanine's been very underwhelming this season. Aside from doing Extreme Speed Chip to help weaken down Pokemon, it has not been getting very many KOs. I cannot talk tonight. And while I don't think running Choice Band will help it in getting KOs, I might as well play into the martyrdom reality that Arcanine Hisui has been this season. Go lead with it, get some strong damage in, weaken some Pokemon, get in a different Pokemon. Now, Arcanine might not be that well of a lead in reality. I mean, he could lead Amoonguss, right? He could lead Porygon, could lead Primarina, Chandelure. There's a lot of Pokemon that Arcanine isn't actually that great of a lead into. So we'll see how it turns out. But all the rest of my other Pokemon didn't look too great here into this matchup, and I figured I might as well bring the S tier. Though I do think Arcanine does have some good matchups. For example, I didn't really mention it with Crocodile, because with Crocodile I don't think it matters that much because it's coming in late. But with Arcanine being a lead Pokemon, we'll be able to figure out if, right off the bat, if the Gallade is Choice Band, I mean not Choice Band, if it's Clear Amulet or Life Orb. Gallade is, in my opinion, wants to bring the Clear Amulet. It has to, right? Because I have 5 Intimidate Pokemon. And Gallade has been Ava's main kill picker for his team. So he needs to bring Clear Amulet, right? However, I don't want to play into expecting the Clear Amulet. So I'm gonna bring 2 Intimidates, just in case it's Life Orb, right? Because I never know. And maybe it's not Life Orb, maybe it's Focus Sash. So being able to figure out if it is Clear Amulet is more important than Rockhead for Arcanine this week, in my opinion. Next up, we already mentioned a bit of this set. We have the Gyarados with Safety Goggles, with Terra Electric, Moxie, Waterfall, Temper Flare, Iron Head, and Protect. Safety Goggles keeps us safe from Amoonguss. I need at least one Pokemon on this team that is safe from Amoonguss outright. And I believe Gyarados is our boy here. We are once again bringing back Temper Flare as our not our stab, but our super effective move into the Amoonguss. If I'm honest, Temper Flare is one of the, no one talks about Temper Flare, right? Because it's just Fire type Stomping Tantrum. But it is so good as coverage, right? Because Gyarados normally doesn't have a Fire type coverage move. What Fire type move does it get? Let's take a look. Flamethrower and Fire Blast, using its base 60 special attack. So Gyarados actually has reliable Fire type coverage now for the Grass types that could give it trouble in this league, which has been so helpful in some calcs. We have Iron Head for the Primarina. It doesn't do too much damage to max HP. I think it only does about 38, I think, with this EV spread. But I want to be specially bulky for those special attacking Pokemon aside from the Gyarados. I mean, not the Gyarados, the Gallade. And we went with Moxie because Gyarados is another Pokemon alongside the Arcanine that I'm considering leading. So the leads are either going to be Gardevoir Kilowattrel, Gardevoir Arcanine, Gardevoir Gyarados. Those are the lead options, in my opinion. Now, that will probably change once I get into the match and I completely forget all of this, as it's going to be the next day. And going to be going off of vibes and then quickly lose 2-0. Last up, we have Klefki, which is probably running the most basic Klefki set I've run the entire season. We are finally bringing Light Clay to a match. And of course, it's against a Pokemon, a player who does have Brick Break as one of his main attacker's moves. So it isn't boosted by Sharpness, so there's a chance he doesn't bring it because he has 4 move slot syndrome. So there's a chance. But we're bringing Klefki with a Light Clay, Terra Ghost. He doesn't have any fake out Pokemon, but I do want that immunity to fighting type moves. Dazzling Gleam, of course, as a spread move to just hit his both Pokemon. Reflect, Light Screen, and Thunder Wave. Klefki, if I'm honest, I don't want to have to bring. I've mentioned this before. I don't like having to rely on Klefki because it is very inactive when it's on the field. So, If game 1 it shows that I do need to bring Klefki, I will. But I plan, for the most part, using the other 5 Pokemon in this team. Overall, out of all my seasons so far, this is just in week 7, I'm thinking about it. This Core 6 has been my favorite 6 to use so far in all of my seasons. Like, Season 3 had its fun moments with the Kyogre and the Basculegion, Arcanine, Florges. Then Season 5, we had the Ogerpon, Ninetales, Baxcalibur. But this 6 right here has felt the most consistent out of all of my teams. Though, I wouldn't say this is my favorite team ever. I still think my Season 5 team is my favorite team ever, because just the rest of this team doesn't feel too great. Sceptile doesn't feel that great. I might trade him out after this match ends, before the Week 7 deadline. So, if you're watching in the future, you'll know why I wanted to get rid of Sceptile. Sceptile hasn't been performing at all. At all. And that's kind of par for the course. Really frail. It's not a bad Pokemon, right? Sceptile is one of my favorite Pokemon, but I just can't use them in competitive. Magneton's alright, but I probably should have grabbed something else with all the fighting type weaknesses that I have. I probably could have gotten something better in D tier to accommodate for that. Tauros was a very poor C tier in my opinion. I thought Sheer Force could do something, and then I realized it gets nothing. I really wanted Stantler at first, as I think I went over in the team breakdown, but every person wanted it, they were able to grab it. But I am just rambling now. We should really wrap this up. We're at over 20 minutes on this recording, and the match is probably going to be just as long, so we should wrap this up here. I thank you all for watching, and I will see you when we get into the match. Peace. Do we see the... Well, first off, hey everyone. We don't see the Primarina, which is good for us, but we do see the Braviary. Hello everyone, Editor Trico here to once again provide information that I forgot to mention. In between the team builder and now, I had since swapped Gardevoir from Choice Scarf to Choice Specs. So if you're wondering why it's slower, that'll be why. So I think we're going to leave Gardevoir Arcanine with Kilowattrel and Crocodile in the back. Huh. We're gonna... So it's probably Focus Sash. Not good. Not good. Not good at all. We're just gonna do this, Stream Speed into Gallade again. Probably switches into Chandelure here, I'd imagine. Actually, if that's the case, maybe I switch into... Do I switch into Crocodile? I think I switch into Kilowattrel. That's what we're gonna do. We switch first. Okay, that worked. Switch into Crocodile. Air Slash. So we got the prediction right. That Chandelure was coming out. That's good for us. Terra Ice. Braviary is last. Crocodile lives. I missed the high horsepower. Are you serious? And we're not Volt Absorb on Kilowattrel. Wow, we lose because of that. I think. Hello everybody, once again it is Editor Trico here to explain something. I did not lose this because I missed that move. I was being an idiot because Jolteon is Terra Ice. And Ice is not weak to ground, it is weak to rock. Because of the high horsepower miss. I should have Earthquaked. Wow. That's crazy. And Terra Blast Ice kills Arcanine. Wow, I can't believe that. Are you serious? I made all the predictions, only to lose on a high horsepower miss. What do we do? What do we do? I don't think I bring Crocodile into back game 2. The question is, who do I lead? I think we're gonna do this. We're leading the same. What did he do turn 1? He Sacred Sworded? Well, that worked out. So, it's Life Orb, Glade, because it wasn't Focus Sash. Yeah, we're gonna do this. We need Gardevoir out for later. Chandelure could set up Trick Room here, but I don't see why it would want to. Oh, it's Terra Water, Dark Pulse. And this is where we show off the Wild Charge. Yep, okay. Now it's just a Moonkiss. Okay. We take back game 2. Okay, so what are we doing to game 3? What are we doing to game 3? Gyarados in the back seems like it works out well. Did we lead Arcanine again? Did we lead Arcanine in game 1? I think we did, right? Yeah. I don't know if we want to lead Arcanine again. You know, it's Terra Water and Terra Ice. Do we lead Gyarados? No. I think we lead Kilowattrel this time. I really should have been Volt Absorb on Kilowattrel. There's the Porygon. So Trick Room goes up here. Yeah. The lead comes in. Chandelure is the last. We get the flinch. Now we let Gardevoir go down so we can get... Actually, no. Do we? No, we don't. Okay. And that should be game. I don't foresee Porygon being able to take out Gyarados and Arcanine. Oh, Jolteon! Oh wait, no, there's no Jolteon. I'm scrolled up. Whew, okay. So, the Jolteon was a bit of a problem, and so was Braviary. But I think we adjusted well going into games 2 and 3. Game 1 was very unfortunate that we end up losing because of the high horsepower miss, but what can you do, right? This is Pokemon. The Gyarados was a insane, like, bulky bring for us this week. It just was able to take so many hits that normally we wouldn't be able to handle. And I think we played the stall game against the Trick Room very, very well. I wonder if Chandelure didn't have Protect, and that's why that was going on like that. But anyways, I thank you all for watching, and I will see you next week. Peace.